Monday. I am Buddy Martin. Program starts in a second. Shane Matthews standing by in the orange and blue room after an incredible few days. My goodness, as I said in my tease, this is the killing season for college football coaches. No fewer than 10 out of work. Can you name them? You could if you tried. And all the ups and downs with the Florida situation, what's happened. Brian Kelly fired. Incredible. Now, how does that change things for Florida, if at all? We'll see what Shane says about that. Also, on the program tonight, we have Kevin Brockway, who was at the press conference today when the new interim head coach took over. He had some interesting things to say. Franz joins us. He will share some information about a new book coming out. And, of course, we'll have our Loren Meadows, our coach, as well. All coming your way tonight. Coming up first right now, Shane Matthews. Stay tuned for the Buddy Martin Show.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good evening. Let's not waste a second. Get right to the QB himself after the unbelievable circumstances of the last 72 hours or so. Good evening to you, Shane. I heard part of your show today. You're sticking to your guns. I want to hear more about what's happened, how things may have changed or may not, as the case. And Lane Kiffin, of course, now has his choice of a bunch of jobs that just keep falling off the trees. Shane, what do you think? Is Florida going to be able to reel him in?
Well, I hope so. My thoughts hadn't changed a bit. His team played extremely well at Oklahoma. His quarterback was outstanding. He's got an unbelievable running back too. Good football team and is very well coached.
Well, now that Brian Kelly's out of it, here's a guy who has his choice of probably 3 or 4 or 5 jobs if he wants them. And there's still more to come, probably. We're going to see another probably shoe fall at Auburn, a shoe fall at Kentucky. When it's all said and done, probably 14 coaches are going to be out of jobs. What's causing all this, Shane?
You got to win games. People don't care about buyouts. The AD at LSU, his last 2 hires were both fired. Paid $130 million.
Yeah, how about that? He's still employed. Scott Woodward.
Yeah, so that's just these buyouts do not. I guess what you can look at, buddy, is we all talked about A&M paid Jimbo what 70-something million.
Yeah.
People complaining about that. How why would you do that? Or do you hear any complaints from A&M right now with Mike Elko? So they probably feel like they might be the best team in the country.
Might be.
And I don't think they really care how much money they paid Jimbo to leave.
True. That's true. Well, I was fascinated by the events of what happened from Thursday on because, as you know, maybe you don't, Gator Bait broke the story that Florida had tendered an offer to Lane. A lot of people got mad at me about it, whatever, because we wrote it, but we had it, and we had it good sourced. And the fact is that when you say offered, when you go to the back rooms, you start doing the back channel negotiations, which we know they all do. They kind of set the market, say, okay, what's it going to take? And the number that was kicked out, this is authenticated by a guy who had Ole Miss connections, by the way. And we were able to ferret out that information and say that he was offered $81 million over 6 or 7 years. and there's no way to know if he is going to accept it or not. But the fact is, that showed us that Florida was serious about making a move, not just firing Billy Napier, but going after the best guy available. So a lot of people are still mad at Scott Strickland, saying they could have got him last year, and supposedly Scott Strickland didn't want him. And now, of course, this year he costs a lot more money, and he has his choice of jobs. So that story broke on Thursday. Franz Beard wrote that story. I was out and about for a couple of days with personal matters. I didn't get a chance to get involved in. But fans got we never had so many people who were logging on to Gator Bay to read that story. And it's all fact-based, and it's all journalism reported. And it's not our job, Shane, to negotiate the contract with anybody. I mean, that's the Florida's job. We report the information, however it falls. It's not our job to say, oh, you messed it up, now they'll never get him. That's not our job. Our job is to put the information out there and let the chips fall where they may, and let's see what happens. So that was quite an interesting time.
Yeah, I heard about it. I'm sure it was very interesting. I don't know anything about how journalism works because I did not study it at all. But look, there's a lot of opportunities for Lane Kiffin and other coaches out there. They'll be moving around. Obviously, Lane's got a lot on his plate right now. I don't think, regardless if he stays, goes, whatever, you won't hear anything until, in my opinion, until after the Egg Bowl.
Yeah. And I don't think there should be. And that's the way you like to have it if you can even
unless he comes out and says he's staying. I feel like he would have done that by now.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on because there's a game this week that used to be pretty important, but you played in. It's called Florida, Georgia, not Georgia, Florida. Gators opened up with 7.5 underdogs. You surprised at that line? I thought it might be 8 or 9.
I mean, 7.5, 8, 9, about all the same. Georgia's a good team, man. They're not as dominant, especially defensively, as they've been in the past few years, but offensively, they're a little unique compared to their other teams. They're a little bit more like when they had I can't think of his name now. The little kid, the little walk-on. When they won 2 back.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett.
Yes,
because he was a more athletic guy. That's how Gunnar Stockton is.
Yeah,
they're better offense than they were last year, the previous year.
Yeah. So what does this tell you? I don't know if you don't watch press conferences. Mm-hmm. I watch them as much for body language and stuff like that. Not necessarily what coaches say because everything's the same. I will say I'm so very impressed with Billy Gonzalez. I've known him a long time, not well, but I've known him a long time. And a couple of the stories that came across in his press conference, and we'll be joined in a moment by Kevin Brockway and also Franz, who know more about it than I do. But I like the fact he talked about, they asked him where he parked his car. They said, do you park it in the head coach's spot? And he said, no. I park in the same spot that I always parked in, out of respect for Coach Napier. And he says when he goes to the meetings, he sits in the same place that he always sat. And so he's taking it on as like he's still one of the guys, but he's not. So I was I'm just really impressed. He said, he said, we'll find out a little bit later, but I didn't hear whether Vernell Brown is practicing. I don't know if he did or not. Maybe somebody can fill me in. I'll ask the guys who were there. Maybe Kevin can tell us. So anyway, so Austin Barber said it was really great to see him back. He said get back on the field and seeing him in that head roll was pretty cool, Barber said. He was firing us up a little bit. Billy Gonzalez, getting people fired up. So be a nice story if they went out and beat Georgia, especially for Billy. He's been a loyal servant to the University of Florida and does coach at 3 different regimes, done it well.
Yeah, we have nothing to lose in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go out, have fun, see what happens.
Yeah. I tell you, are you surprised at all the vitriol that's coming out about Brian, about Kelly? I never liked him. I've never been a Brian Kelly guy. I always thought he was just really not that great a coach and arrogant and whatever. Boy, the stuff that's coming out today about him is nasty. Now, I don't necessarily take message boards for granted, but a lot coming out said now there's a question about his settlement, which is we know is a ton of money, but there's, according to the guy I follow online, he said four sources confirm LSU and Brockway have not agreed on a buyout figure. So apparently, however, guys like Ross Dellinger, who do know things to LSU, says I'll continue paying Kelly his regular contract with a buyer resolution to be determined. So as I understand it, he went in there, they told him to fire his offensive coordinator, and he refused to do it. And that's when he got in with Scott Woodward, and they got hot and heated, and they said, "You're out of here." So I was a little surprised, weren't you?
I was not. I said on my show that I thought if they lost to Texas A&M, because they lost at Ole Miss, they lost at Vanderbilt, and if they lose 3 games in a row, that I would not surprise me if he gets fired. I think Hugh Freeze is the next guy, and then I think Mark Stoops will be the following.
It's the killing season, as I call it. Boy, oh boy, I tell you what. I know we've had this before, but not this early. That's a lot. Unbelievable. So, yeah, you're right. The contracts, there's some question about the total amount of money that the contracts, Jimbo Fisher and Brian Kelly. Some people say Stuart Mandel says $170 million. And then they I guess the combined buyout was 129, like you said. So anyway, it's strange. Here's the guy. I don't know if you who you follow, if you know Tim Brando or not. You know who he is, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know who he is.
He's really got a thing all about Florida. He's just been ripping the Gators like crazy lately, for whatever reason. And talk about fan base being toxic and all that crap. Here's the funny thing. Here's what he tweeted right before Brian Kelly got fired. Talk about not being in touch, which people accuse me of being sometimes, and maybe I'm not. Scott Woodward's a proud AD, and he chose BK. And regardless of what Bingo Barneys and Bayou Billies scream in public, it's his call. And I don't see a dismissal and a buyout taking place. Not now anyway, Tim Brando. How wrong can you be on something?
He was wrong.
Yeah, he was definitely wrong. So, all right. So you have any hot prospects for coaches out there that whose name has not been mentioned? Besides, if you can't get Lane, not necessarily Florida, if you're out there trying to hire a coach, when do you start looking at the coordinators? And who do you know that has not well known as a coordinator?
I don't think you can go that route.
I don't mean Florida. I mean anybody. If you're,
I tell you who. If I was Kentucky, I know exactly who I would go hire. Eric Morris from North Texas.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
Probably the best offense in America. A quarterback throws for about 400 or 500 every game.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the staff when Mahomes was at Texas Tech. He coached Cam Ward at Incarnate Word. He helped coach John Mateer at Washington State. And that's the up-and-comer, in my opinion.
That's good.
Eric Morris.
Another name I heard the last couple of days is Schumann, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I don't. There ain't no defensive coaches that make me excited.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying it's the Gators. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying I wouldn't hire any defensive head coach.
Yeah,
if I was.
Well, you're an offensive guy. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but I don't know. They don't do much for me.
He's done a really good job at Georgia. All right. So, how many of the openings can you identify? All right, and how many think you can get them all?
About how many opens there are?
Yeah, there are 26 openings coming up. Coaches who've been fired or quit or whatever.
I mean, I know most of them. I'd have to really think about it, but I could probably come up.
Well, think about it a little bit. All right, I'll help you. We know Florida, obviously.
You're asking me to give them. So you got Florida, LSU,
yeah,
Virginia Tech, UCLA,
yeah, Big Ten.
The Big Ten is UCLA. Is there another Big Ten? Penn State.
Penn State, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really. I mean, I know it if I saw it. I haven't looked at.
Yeah,
it. But
well, I'm not good at this. I thought about it, but there are 10, and there's going to be more. It's Arkansas, which you forgot
yeah,
about.
that's right. Arkansas.
Colorado State now.
Yeah.
Kent State. Well, wouldn't have got that one probably.
I don't know why anybody want to go to Kent State.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's an opening. LSU, which we know about. Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
So
that's a weird program.
Yeah, yeah. Mike Gundy might have been the only guy who could have handled it, so they should have left him alone. Oregon State, Stanford,
Yep.
UAB.
Yep.
So those are open. So if you want to know the opening lines,
I think Charlotte's open too.
Charlotte. Well, the
No. They fired
He's
the
the
AD. Never mind. They fired the AD.
Yeah. Can you? What about this? Here's the bet online for the next LSU coach, and this is kind of odd. Next LSU coach. Okay, the odds. The favorite,
Jimbo Fisher.
Well, Jimbo Fisher is not at the top. He's down there. He's at 18-1, but he's not in the top 5 or 6. Yeah, Jimbo Fisher's on it. John Gruden, he may wind up getting one of these jobs yet because it's as short as the coaches. A name I'm hearing a lot of lately is Kenny Dillingham. We'll see about that. Lincoln Riley, you think that'd be a good pick?
Ooh.
We kind of forgot about him, right?
You talking about at LSU? He's the favorite?
No. Yeah, these on the list. This is here's the odds, okay? John Summerall's a favorite. Yeah, he's the favorite.
I think that all my Ole Miss people want him if Lane leaves.
Yeah. Joe Brady, I understand he'd be a good pick. Kiffin, of course. James Franklin, who looks like I had a big Florida supporter tell me yesterday he really likes James Franklin a lot. Drinkwitz we know about, although I haven't heard as much. Jeff Brown, we haven't heard a lot lately. He's 12-1. Brent Key at Georgia Tech. He keeps servicing. His teams have played well. You mentioned Jimbo Fisher. Clark Lee. I just think he's going to stay at Vanderbilt.
I don't think any of those guys at their alma mater are going to leave.
I agree with you. Urban Meyer's still on the list. Marcus Freeman is at Notre Dame. He's still. Rhett Lashley. Gruden, I mentioned, is 40-1. Dillingham is 40-1. Lincoln Riley's 45-1. Dabo Sweeney. There's a name we haven't heard in a couple of events. Dan Mullen. Alex Golesh. Now, I thought he'd be a little higher than that. He's way down.
Who's the favorite, buddy?
I just told you, John Summerall.
Oh.
John Summerall, then Joe Brady, and then Lane Kiffin. And then on down, you got at the end, you don't hear as much. Of course, Dan Lanning, because he's not going to come. We know that. Mullen's name is still on the list. And, of course, Nick Saban's what to throw in there. So, do you agree with the people who said that LSU ought to go make Nick Saban say no again to him?
Why not? Might as well. Why not try?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be quite the story. And I mean, he could probably get $20 million a year if he wanted it. They'd probably pay it. They got to do something. They got egg all over their face there. Talk about, I mean, Scott Strickland shouldn't feel too bad looking at what LSU's become. All right, your man. I want to talk about this after we do the commercial, but this book he keeps quoting out of, Lane, and I can never get the name of the book. He drops a page and and it's quite interesting. It's kind of a tease. And here it is. We'll talk about it when we come back. It's day 2001, and Lane posted this page. It says, "You have so much more inside of you. I know you feel depleted and as though you are at the end of something. You're only at the end of the experience of being this one particular version of yourself. You have done all you could do in the person you've been, and you're ready for the next phase of your evolution. You're ready to transform into a new person entirely. You're going to discover pieces of yourself so deeply entangled in your being, ones you did not expect to live out. Give yourself space and time. New miracles are taking place and going to emerge through the pain." Interesting. I just heard a clip where he said he could care less about money. He doesn't
He
care
posted that
about
in 2001.
No, this is a book he's quoting out of now almost every day.
Oh,
And it's a page, it's day 2201 of this book, which is obviously 365. I don't know the book. He posts something every day. And then there you are. I just saw a clip from him, and we'll take a break and do our commercial, but where he says, I don't care about money. Money I've never cared about. I'll never take a job over money. He said, Jimmy Sexton hates when I say that. He says, because I do care about money. All right, this is Buddy Martin Show. It's thanks for listening and watching. We're going to take some of your comments in a minute. Come back. We'll also have a couple of the guys ready to join. And I want to tell you about some special people. I talked last night with Jeffrey Meldon. He's so excited. He took a trip down with the basketball team and hung out with them. And he's all ready for the season. Basketball to start. He, of course, loves football. And Meldon Law is really doing well these days. They're the only official law firm of the University of Florida. I've said this before. I'll say it again. In the last couple of weeks, I got the good news that my suit was one I needed to have, trying to get my house repaired. And so Meldon Law didn't have anybody to do it. They recommended somebody. It took a while, but they won the suit. Not a lot of money, but enough to get the house fixed. So anyway, Meldon Law, they did it again. I recommend if you need a lawyer, you want a Gator, go to a guy who's got a good track record and is also very smart. I'd call Jeffrey Meldon or one of his people. 4 locations to serve you, Ocala, Gainesville, Lake City, and Williston. And now another one, 5 down by Boca Raton. Meldon Law, they won't back down. Let's go up here and see who all is going to join for one Franz. And then we're going to do a little roundtable discussion about what we think is next. We'll say good evening to these guys. Kevin Brockway's here. We'll bring him in. Have a little roundtable discussion, guys. Good evening to you, Franz. Hello, Kevin.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We just got the scoop from Shane. Shane told us who the next coach is going to be. It's him. He's going to coach him up. So, yeah. So, guys, look, Kevin, I heard you at the press conference today, and I was really impressed with Billy Gonzalez's demeanor. And I loved the part, Franz, where he talked about he drives to work now and parks in the same place, not the head coach spot, but where he always parked, that he sits in the meetings at the same chair, not where Billy Napier is. He's out of respect for Coach Napier. And I liked his grit, and I liked his attitude. And I like the fact he's up for the challenge for Georgia. I don't know. You were there, Kevin. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's come across pretty well so far in the press conferences. I just think that, I think fans are probably more interested in the changes. And he even talked today a little bit about tempo, too. And he's hoping that if everything goes right with the communication, it's going to lead to a little bit of better tempo. And I think Mark Long had a stat about Florida's tempo that I don't remember specifically, but it was not good under Billy. And as we know in college football, you watch a lot of these games these weekends, and the teams that are playing fast are the teams that are really, having a lot of success. So maybe those changes show up on Saturday, and maybe, whatever other wrinkles they have, and maybe, Steve Spurrier Jr. being more involved with the quarterbacks on the sidelines, and Ryan O'Hara calling the plays will net some positive results on Saturday offensively.
Let's talk about that, Shane. I understand the process, how that all works. And in fact, go over to Kevin and Franz again, because it's a little complicated. Who's doing what, Kevin?
Well, I mean, O'Hara and, Russ Callaway will be in the press box together, but O'Hara is going to, communicate to DJ, who's going to be up.
Does he have the green dot?
Yeah.
All right, he's got the green dot.
Yeah.
Tell him what that means, Franz, the green dot.
It means that he's got the
talking in his helmet.
He's got the mic in his helmet.
Mm-hmm, right. And so now on the ground, however, Steve Spurrier Jr. is talking to him face to face, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like another kind of layer there of maybe what he can see on the field that they can't see upstairs. So I think it's it devises a little bit of a good plan. And, Billy Gonzalez kind of intimated that Billy was trying to handle a lot of it himself. and that maybe having these multiple eyes could be of use, certainly, in a game like this.
Shane, do you have a clear picture of that now in your mind? But
Yeah, it's simple. It's simple. Ron O'Hare calls the plays. I think people, and maybe I've heard this wrong, and I've heard it multiple times, and it makes absolutely no sense to me. For every meeting I've been into in my entire career, the offensive staff gets together, watches the opponent, makes notes, and they put a plan together. The guy that calls the plays, that makes the decision on every play, takes all that information and puts it on his call sheet, the little boxes everywhere, right? And then that guy is the one that makes the decision in the game. This whole, people have said Callaway has scripted these plays, and that if that's true, that's the first time I've ever heard it on any football team, because it makes no sense to me why somebody would script the plays, but he's not calling the plays, because the play caller is going to call what the hell he wants to call. And plus your script is never, they think these scripts are 10 plays or whatever. You don't even go in that order, because you don't have third and shorts on your script. You just have your 10 plays you want to see early in the game. So like I said, I've been in thousands and thousands and thousands of meetings. I have never in my entire life had anybody put the plan together, but he doesn't call the plays. I've just never heard of that. If y'all have, please let me know, because I never have.
And let's not forget the aspect too, Shane, and you brought this up a couple of weeks ago with DJ too, is the quarterback is in that too, in terms of what he likes. Also,
correct.
That's the other aspect of the equation too.
Yeah, because what you do is usually for college on Fridays, you meet with the play caller. You go over all 255 plays on the list, however many they have, and you take a big black Sharpie and you cross out what you do not like. Meaning, if you think it's the greatest freaking play in the world, but the quarterback don't like it, you can't call it.
All right. On the matter of things, go ahead.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, Shane, is how close do teams actually follow these scripts? I mean, I hear that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I hear people say, well, they scripted the first 20 plays. Well, what happens on the first play if you lose 17 yards?
You're already off the script.
Yeah. Okay. That's what
again, every offense I've been around on some good teams. I've been on some really bad teams. Some teams we didn't even script at Florida. I'm not a big scripting guy. What really good coordinators do and they use the word script, you have about 10 plays. They're all like first down plays, right? There's no short yardage plays, but like you said, Franz, you go on first down, you get sacked. Now it's 2nd and 15. You're off your script immediately. You're looking at your 2nd and 15 plays. But what people like to do is you've watched the tape of the opponent and you've seen, okay, let's use Florida, for example. Florida's looking at Georgia tape. Georgia played, who'd they play in their last game? Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're looking at all the tape, but let's just use the Ole Miss tape. They're going to look, okay, when Ole Miss has the tight end attached left next to the left tackle and 3 wide receivers to the right, that's 11 personnel. But how did Georgia line up? If Ole Miss ran that formation 8 times in the game, did Georgia line up the same way every time?
No.
Georgia bring a certain blitz, but certain defenses have checks that how they're going to line up. How did they line up in 3-by-1? How did they line up in 2-by-2? How did they line up in 12 personnel? How did they line up with 2? So what you do is you look and you say, okay, what we're going to do in the first 10 or 15 plays, we're going to line up in these formations with these personnel groupings. We're going to see what Georgia what their plan of attack is today against that formation. And that gives you an idea of what you want to, it says, okay, does our data that we've had, and we've broken down all 7 games that Georgia's played, What are the percentages? Are they matching up to what Georgia's doing today? And then that's how you start calling plays later in the game, if that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah, it does.
But I've never understood this whole script thing. Like I said, I played 5 years of college ball and 14 years in the NFL, and nobody was ever on the script the entire time.
Interesting. And they send that man in motion a lot of times just to find out they're a man or whatever, right?
Correct.
And it's always all this. I used to be against all that because remember, you don't remember because you were too young, but Tom Landry started all that motion stuff. He had so many different looks.
Motion is good at times, sometimes, but in today's world, the motion that a lot of NFL teams now, I mean, the Lions and the 49ers, they use a lot of motion, but it's that little motion of the back out of the backfield. Then he comes back just to see if, you take about 3 or 4 steps. Does the backer go with him? Well, he didn't go with him. So now they're in zone. So there's different ways to do it, but we'll see. Hopefully it sounds like, look, Ryan O'Hara, why not? Have fun, my man. Just call.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose, right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of yes.
What was Spurrier's idea of a script? It just whatever.
I don't remember us ever having a script, Franz. Maybe I'll ask him tomorrow. I'll see him. I was like, he used to. Our damn play sheets. Our playbook was 3 pieces of typing paper stapled together with his handwriting. So he wanted just from the film study. Okay, if we lined up in 3-by-1, what do we expect? We expect them to be in this. All right, let's line up the first couple of plays and let's see. Let's motion. They're a man team. Are they going to play us man today or are they going to play us zone? Let's motion in the first 2 or 3 plays. It's that's kind of how you gather information early in the ball game to see if the percentages that are on your chart are matching up to what they're trying to do to you that day.
Yeah. On the matter of questions, and this, I don't know about plays, not a call, all that stuff, but I know about questions. And I thought some of the most interesting stuff I heard today were the questions that were typically not asked these kind of questions. Mark Long, those guys asking about Billy Gonzalez, where is he parked, etc. But Alpha Gator USA says, what did you think of Mark asking the questions of the parking spot? A bit petty to me. I didn't think it was petty at all. What you guys think?
I liked it. I like the fact that you want to see where Billy Gonzalez's ego is, and
very healthy.
I agree. I think Billy Gonzalez. He emphasized today during the press conference. He says, "I got to be who I am," and I like that answer. He's not going to try to say, well, I'm here. I've been given a mandate to outdo Billy Napier, or I've got to be, since I work for Urban, I got to be the next Urban. He just says, I got to be me. He's going to trust what he knows and trust the people he works with to come up with something that works.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that lack of ego.
I think what he actually said, Kevin, and actually it was he called a lot of his former coaches. I didn't know the full story on Colorado State. I didn't know he did not coach there. He was called to coach by Urban, but he never got to coach because he got a job for you. It was going to be a volunteer of the slot receivers.
And then he went to McMurray State, and he told us another anecdote about lighting the field there.
Yeah, writing about that with robots and how the robots stood out. That was good stuff. But in terms of his comments, I think what he said was he talked to a lot of his old coaches, including Urban, and they all told him the same thing: be who you are. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's how Billy's going to go about it. Certainly. And I think he's going to lean on a lot of different people too along the way. Certainly this is an unprecedented situation for him. He's never been a head coach. This is going to be his first time in that seat, making those decisions, game management. That's what I'm going to be curious about too. Can the game management get better? Is it going to be tidy on the sidelines? You would think that Maybe if you're down a receivers coach, it would be or it could not be. But I think that's going to be the curiosity to me too, because obviously under Billy, that was really shaky. And whether the all ball coach say that the football wasn't always tidy. Well, let's see if the football is going to be a little more tidy with Billy Gonzalez in the chair, because this is his opportunity, as we know, these last 5 games to make some kind of an impression, either for this job or for another job.
I'm going to bring Loren in. Did you guys hear? I'm going to let Shane go in a minute. But did you guys hear Tebow's comments about not coaching at Florida? The two other things, he was asked that by actually Laura, I think it was, on SEC Nation, and they asked him about coaching. You guys hear that? Those comments?
Did not.
Y'all didn't hear him. Okay. Basically, he said, well, while it would be an honor and whatever, he said he has other things in his life he has to do and that require a lot of his time, his faith and all the things he does with, great with kids, etc. And I've heard, I remember this from, and I'll bring Loren in here. I remember this from my conversations with Urban way back in the day when we were talking one day, when you could talk to coaches actually back in the day, actually have a conversation. We were talking about Tebow at that time. Tebow was graduating or about to graduate. And I remember distinctly, and Franz, you might remember me telling you this, that he said Tim Tebow ought to try to be the coach at Florida someday.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that 2 or 3 press conferences when Urban said that?
No, he says he's never done a call saying it. So anyway, I said, well, you told
at least 2 times.
I know you told me that, Urban, for sure. He said, I don't remember that. But anyway, just thought that was interesting. Shane, I'll let you go and we'll talk about tomorrow's show, but give me your feelings about you, since you seem to be hanging on to this Kiffin thing. You have more hope, I think. I think we all are hopeful. I don't think now. I think maybe my position has been the whole time was he wouldn't leave Oxford. Now it's another situation. He's got so much to leave Oxford for. He could take the LSU job for tons of money. I don't know. Give me your best thoughts right now, Shane, before you get your milk and cookies. What's going to take?
I still think he'll be our coach.
Okay.
I don't care if he plays for the national title. I still think he will be our coach next year.
Why do you think that?
Because he's a good fit. Here's what I tell all my Ole Miss people. They don't want to hear this. The dude is going to leave Ole Miss at some point. He's not going to coach there for another 15 years. He's not. He's either going to leave
he's 50 years old for one thing. He's not going to coach 15 years probably anyway.
Well, let's just say 10 more years.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it happening. I could be 1,000% wrong, and I don't really care. I think he will be our coach next year.
Shane, I'm going to bring this up because I just saw a reader comment too about Jeff Brom. I think Jeff Brom is staying at Louisville for a long time. Because
I agree. I don't know why any of these guys that are at their school, their alma maters, I don't know why Brent Key would leave. I don't know why Kenny Dillingham will leave. I don't know why Clark Lee would leave. They're not.
Yeah.
But Lane's done a phenomenal job at Ole Miss. It's one of the greatest coaching jobs I've ever seen. But it's a different world, and I still think, yes, he's winning at Ole Miss, but people say Ole Miss is the better job right now. It's better than a lot of programs in the SEC. But as soon as he leaves, wherever he goes, that program just became better than the program he left.
Let's go around the horn here real quick before Shane goes and let him go. But stay or go. Franz, what do you think?
I agree with Shane. He'll be the head coach of the University of Florida.
Okay. Kevin?
I agree, as long as Florida doesn't screw it up. And I think the plan B is Drinkwitz, and that's basically what I'm hearing right now.
Loren,
I don't know. Hey, changing the subject here real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt,
sure.
But He had a press conference today, and somehow all this damn Ole Miss stuff. I guess they know when I talk about Ole Miss, my phone does, and all these Ole Miss things pop up. But you got to go watch his presser today. You know, he's very mellow, but they asked him. I guess Brent Venables said that Oklahoma was better than Ole Miss, and Lane just went on and on and on. He kept throwing it. It was so Coach Spurrier. He's like, "Well, ask Venables about." When I was at USC, what we did to Oklahoma. Ask him when I was at Alabama, what we did. And he was throwing the scores out.
Wow.
It was you got to look at it. You'll see, because it had a lot of HBC in it to me.
So you think your phone knows that when you're talking about it?
I swear, more Ole Miss stuff pops up on my phone now.
You're wired. Loren, go ahead and weigh in on, does he stay or does he come or what?
I say he doesn't come, but it's hard to go against Shane and Kevin. They know a lot more about it than I do.
No. I have no.
They don't know more than you know. Right
I'm gonna say, I've said it before. I think it's gonna be some disappointed Florida fans. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. I agree with everything. I just think there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts in Oxford, and for him to get up and leave. But I'm gonna say no.
I kind of go with you on that. I'm going to agree with you. So, but anyway, all right, guys, so let's let Shane go. He gets sleepy now. He gets crabby.
Here's the other thing, too. What if
make it fast? He's got to go.
Okay, yeah. What if the reports in Texas are true, even though they're being denied? What if that job opens up? What if Auburn opens up?
Texas.
It's going to be a free-for-all.
Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Where I been? I got to stop messing around. I missed that one. Texas.
Start to the NFL. That's the rumor.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, he could lose 2 more games. That's the thing. If he did, it might. But I don't know. That's his guy. Sarkisian. He's his
I love
guy.
Sark.
Yeah, I kind of look at it like this. He is either going to be the head coach at the University of Mississippi or the University of Florida. One of those two.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Yeah,
not
the other ones aren't even in play. I don't think.
I don't think. He ain't going to. I bet things that are sacred to me that he's not going to LSU, and I don't think he wants to go to Texas either. I think his heart's set on either being at Ole Miss or at Florida. Period. And I think that's end of the discussion.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have been reading any of the stuff he's posted on Twitter. The Sun book is like Sun Tzu. It's not that. It's a daily reminder of things and about life and about making life better and so on. So today's is about getting braced for a new adventure and changing your life and new direction, and so on. So interesting, kind of cryptic. All right, thank you, Shane. I'll talk to you in the morning.
All right, fellas. Have a good night.
Shane Matthews. Don't forget tomorrow morning. He is on Putt Up with Matthews. All right, guys, go ahead.
And by the way, faking injuries is part of the game. Whatever, man. They talking about Lane told his guys to fake injuries. That happens all the time, man. He ain't the only one.
Are you kidding me? Steve Spurrier had a play based on that and won the SEC.
Right, yeah. So I'm not. That's
remember
people.
Remember Franz?
If you ain't never coached real football, if you don't know about games, so all these guys that swear they know football and all that, you've never been in a game that matters when you're trying to get an edge and the teams are evenly matched. There's all kind of stuff going on. We sent a kid. I'll tell you a story, and it's we had a kid end up playing this Division I quarterback, played at Miami University. He broke his hand. We were playing, Troy, Ohio, and their coach was kind of so what we did was we dressed him up and we took him up to the gym, which was away from the school. He threw with one of the freshman coaches, brought him down during warm-ups. He had his pants on with his jogging pants over his actual pants. We went back in the locker room. He came out with the team. First 2 plays, boom, boom, touchdown. They never recovered. I mean, that stuff happens, man. You got to live with it,
Franz, you and I were there the day that when it was Werfel that came off the field, right? Am I right? Remember?
Yeah.
With holding his arm. And the really good backup quarterback who threw for all those yards.
Eric Kresser
put it in the game. Everybody said, well, they just put him in for game for one play. And he throws a long bomb, which I think is great. It's a great thing to do. If you're going to put a guy in, because they're going to say, well, let's crowd him up. We'll sack him. And anyway, and they had a big play out of it. So
what about
Well,
Eric
the rule-
Cresser? Some of the receivers he got to throw to between the ones in
Yeah.
Florida and then Randy Moss and Marshall.
yeah, did pretty well, right?
Go ahead, Franz. I'm sorry.
Before the rules changed, they used, every school had its own what you call a hideout play, where you send a guy and he looks like he's running off the field, and you get everybody on your team that lines up and they cross their arms like this, and the guy just stops and he crosses his arm like this, and you run to the wide side of the field, and everybody looks over there and sees. Well, all they see is a guy got all these guys like this, and they leave him alone.
Exactly.
He's all by himself, run out. That play has been declared illegal now because they say it's an unfair advantage and it's deceptive. Well, what do you think? What do you think? Running a dive play when you pull the ball out of the fullback, out of the fullback, and you come down the line and you fake a pitch and then you go, what do you is that deceptive?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we used to call them dick'ems, where like you run out and you changing personnel and 70 people run out to the line of scrimmage and they don't pass the numbers and they come back. I mean, it's all kind of stuff, man.
Mike Elko got fined, didn't he, for his team faking in the Arkansas game? I mean, he got hit with a pretty hefty fine on that, which is interesting. Yeah, so I call it the Elko effect, though, this coaching carousel, if you think about it, because, I mean, that put the nail in Billy's coffin and put the nail in Brian Kelly's coffin. And I think what these, athletic directors and boosters are seeing is if Elko can do this in year 2, why couldn't Napier? Why couldn't Brian Kelly? And I think he's the guy. If you're looking for someone to blame for this coaching carousel, blame Mike Elko, because he went to Texas A&M. And he turned that thing completely around in 2 years. Culture.
Yeah,
well, your former neck of the woods, Kevin. I mean, Signetti. Same thing. At Indiana of all places.
Well, the quarterback is right up there that won the Heisman.
Yeah, he balling. Well, he nice on the video game too, by the way. So anyway, but I'm just saying.
Here's the thing that's going on, though, is you got a twofold happening here. The fact that Penn State, LSU, Florida, etc., will pay these big buyouts to get rid of a coach. That makes it open season at every school that wants to compete, because they got to say, well, can my guy compete? Well, if he's going to compete, I got to pony up and get rid of the guy I've got right now, because I got to bring somebody in here who does. And they're going to raise the salary of everybody else, because if I want to keep, for example, Lane Kiffin, and I'm Ole Miss, I gotta get as much money as I can in there and make him, give him enough cushion that he will withstand a Godfather offer from Florida. But this is going to happen everywhere. I guarantee it, they're afraid at LSU that they're going to go after Marcus Freeman. And I promise you, Marcus Freeman's going to be in for a pretty good raise in the next couple of weeks. I don't think personally that Marcus Freeman will go anywhere unless it's Ohio State that opens up.
I don't believe all the rumors, but he was rumored to have been rejected by Florida last year. I don't know that. So
Mr. Woodward is known to go after the splashiest hire.
Talk about a guy that'll be fired. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he could pick them, can't he?
Oh my word.
Yeah.
129 million in buyouts. Holy mackerel. So
well, you look at what he had for basketball too. I mean, he went after Matt McMahon, and I mean, Matt McMahon is LSU basketball's Billy Napier.
Although I heard that they wanted Golden pretty hard too. I heard that it was both
they
LSU and Florida for Golden, and Scott, to his credit, got Todd first, and they had to settle for McMahon. That's how I heard it went down.
Yeah, well, they wanted Golden, but they also had their sights set on 2 or 3 other top of the line coaches. They were going to really make the big. I promise you that Woodward made an approach after John Calipari, but John Calipari at the time was very content at Kentucky. now he's very content at Arkansas. But
they ain't been relevant in basketball since Dale Brown and Bobby Knight played in the Elite Eight in '87 or something like that. When Knight slammed the phone. I know, but
it wasn't a year in your talk my boy John Brady. John Brady and I grew up together. I mean, hey.
All right, since you guys have morphed in over to basketball secretly, while I'm talking football, we might as well just give up and go ahead and do it.
No, that's all right. It's your show, buddy.
That's okay. I'm gonna give you each 2 minutes to on this topic of basketball, the secret game that Florida played, how good they're looking, to talk about everything. What's going to happen now. Did Purdue get beat or something? I think they did. Or anyway, there was something happened to Purdue.
Yeah, Kentucky beat Purdue in a scrimmage. Florida beat Illinois in a scrimmage.
Yeah. So these were secret scrimmages, though, weren't they?
Yeah, they got leaked out though, and I had gotten some word on it. 96-86, it kind of came back, and Boogie Flan didn't play, but Urban Clafchar played pretty well, obviously, and Condon played terrific. He had 24 and 11. Xavier Lee had 8 assists, 17 points. Tommy Howe
16 and 10. 16 and 10 for Ruben.
Yeah, they were solid, and I think they had to rally back in the second half, but they pulled it out. Illinois is a preseason top 25 team, so really good test heading into Arizona next week for the opener.
I think my guy is Tommy Howe. I really like that guy, man. He's got so much game, and everything he does is fun to watch. And
they got some dudes, man. They are about 10 deep, dude. Yeah. They got some cats that can go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just flat out depth out the wazoo. I mean, I saw that. I mean, you look at the clips, and I mean, they got guys in there that, CJ Ingram, just his athleticism alone. I mean, it's just going to be, Brown, Lloyd, Klopp. I mean, it's just, you name it. And I mean, and you think about, like you talk about Condon, he did the, what was it? I mean, the second best international player is Illinois' big man. And he had that kind of game against Illinois' big man. So, that tells you something right there.
Yeah. So, all right. So, basketball comes, Franz. You got to go ahead and talk about the book. We're going to have an event at Spurrier's. We haven't set the date. It's going to be for the benefit of the women's basketball program. And we're going to tell you about it later. So we get all the details. And we're going to, the proceeds of what we sell on the book, we're going to give to the women's basketball program. And you guys hopefully will be there. But anyway, so the book is coming out. It's called The Golden Season. It's actually in print now, being shipped. Carlton Reese has done a great job. We'll have hard copies of the book in 3 weeks. Franz, get your right hand ready to sign, buddy.
What do you think that is? I've been practicing today.
You're going to be, you better, because you're going to be writing a lot of signings, especially on Ocala Gainesville. If you're out there and you're listening and you want somebody wants to do a signing, we can make it easy for you. We'll sell you some books, by the way, at a very inexpensive, at wholesale price, basically, for you. And if you want your club to sell them and make money off of them, we can do that. Anyway, there's actually a email. I think it's called the Golden Season. What is it called? It's email. I'll get it from get it for you tomorrow night. But anyway, all right, Franz, talk about it.
Well, it's a book that chronicles last year's run to the national championship, and starting back when I had breakfast with Todd at the Mia Pa Cuban restaurant there on 34th Street, and that was in a 3 months before the season began. And it began, the book begins basically with Todd telling me we got some dudes, and they did have some dudes, and they were able to sneak up on people last year. They had, I thought, pretty much after that North Carolina game, I thought they really had a shot at being great. And then when they came back after losing at Tennessee to win as big as they did, to beat Tennessee, which was ranked number 1 by 30, just 3 days after losing up there at Kentucky, that showed me a lot about this bunch, about how resilient they were. And you got to be that way. You don't win a national championship without some without being able to overcome some adversity, and they certainly showed they could. So it's a book about that. If you like the Gators and you want to relive the championship run, then I think you might enjoy this one.
You believe we could be looking at the possibility, I don't want to jinx him, another back-to-back national champion in basketball?
They tough, man. They gonna be good.
Yeah,
Tough.
But
big, deep, and they got the size, which is good. I mean, the only question mark is the shooting, the volume shooting that you got from guys like Clayton, and when Richard got on the roll, and Elijah Martin. I think that's the big question mark. But I think everything else, I mean, they're going to be really physical this year, and I think that's and I think Boogie Flan defensively, they're going to be able to turn a lot of people over as well and score points off turnovers that way.
My boy CJ on them runouts. Showtime.
Yeah.
Showtime.
Yeah. For sure.
I think this is they're the most experienced team in the country, but I also think they're the deepest. I wonder how he's going to find room for 12 players, because that's what he's got.
I said that last year, Franz, if you remember. Talking about playing so many people. And I kept saying you can't do it, and he did it. So,
and the key is no drop off too. When you go 1 through 8, and you have your 7 and 8s could start at a lot of other teams, and that's what they had last year. And I think they've comparable to that this year in terms of guys like Urban Clavshar would probably be starting at about 60 to 70% of other schools in the country.
Yep. Got to go, guys. And give me a 5-second final comment. Got to go.
Support women's basketball. I know people talk about they need to get it going, but I think appreciate what you guys doing. But how do you judge Kelly Ray Finley? Do you judge her as one of the best coaches that Florida has ever had?
That's over 5 seconds. We're way
or do you judge her against people that have far more resources than she does?
We'll talk about that next time. You can talk about the lowdown with Loren Meadows tomorrow night. Franz, 5 seconds.
I think Florida is going to give Georgia a ball game. I don't know if they'll win or not, but I think they'll give them a ball game.
All right, that's 5. Kevin, 5 seconds.
Buddy, I told you Louisville was going to be tough, and I think Caden Bell and Pitt are going to knock Miami out of the college football playoff again.
Hope so.
They sure played good. Good night, guys. Great job. Appreciate it. All right.
See you guys.
Thank you very much to Franz Beard, Loren Meadows, Kevin Brockway, and we will go close out with our commercial read on Titan MRI. If you have not familiar with them, you ought to be, because there are people that can help you if you ever need any kind of MRI. I see the president had one, by the way. Titan MRI and Imaging now has 3 locations, 2 in Gainesville with the Park Avenue location, and now at Millennium Center, and 1 in Lake City, serving all of Columbia County in Valdosta, Georgia. Titan MRI and Imaging offers the same great customer service. As always, if you need an appointment and you can't go during the day, they'll make one for you at night. They now accept insurance, or you can go through their convenient self-pay options. They offer MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, and ultrasounds. Like I said, easy scheduling with lots of options, including evenings. There's the key: larger MRI machines for your patient comfort. No ERs, no hospitals. Coming soon to Ocala and better serve Marion County and the surrounding areas. Titan MRI, it's your choice. Thanks to our guests tonight and our regulars. Appreciate that. Guys do a good job. Lots of stuff happening. Been a crazy last couple of days. It's going to be wild. Be sure you subscribe to GatorBait, GatorBaitMedia.com. It was a wild and crazy ride this past weekend. And thanks to the guys there. Great job by Brendan and Martin and by Franz and the guys and Rob Brown, etc., who helped put those stories together that you read about the offer that was been tendered to Lane Kiffin by University of Florida. We stand by that, and I think we'll be correct. You'll see we're going to be correct. So have a great night. We'll come back here tomorrow night. Loren will be with you with his program, Lowdown, with Loren Meadows. And we hope you'll continue to read GatorBait, support us. We appreciate all that. We're just a small organization, and we love to get support from you. So we will catch up to you soon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.